See, Kamala, you should have went on his show and maybe he would have. Nah. Good day, everybody. Welcome to the channel. You're watching my channel, Modern Renaissance Man, and I am Ty Smith. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to view my content. Make sure that you are following me on all the platforms you see above and below. And hitting this like button right here is how my content can consistently be recommended to you and helps push my content message out in the YouTube shadow banning algorithm. If you are subscribed to the channel, make sure that notification bell is clicked to all notifications and double check to make sure that you are subscribed if you think you are subscribed. So, ladies and gentlemen, a big, huge announcement came as Joe Rogan came out and made this announcement.
Joe Rogan endorsing Donald Trump. This just after Elon Musk made the case for 45 during his 2.5-hour sit-down interview on Rogan's podcast today. So two major endorsements, Megyn Kelly and Joe Rogan, at Monday night, right before the election.
And it says Joe Rogan endorses Donald Trump on the eve of the election. The Joe Rogan Experience podcaster announced his endorsement of Trump after interviewing, after interviewing X, or Twitter, Elon Musk, right? So, podcaster Joe Rogan announced his support of former President Trump in an X post Monday night. After interviewing billionaire Trump supporter Elon Musk on the Joe Rogan Experience, the podcaster officially endorsed Trump while telling people to listen to Musk's interview. Says the great and powerful Elon Musk, if it wasn't for him, we'll be boop. He makes what I think is the most compelling case for Trump you'll never hear, and I agree with him every step of the way. For the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump. Enjoy the podcast, Joe Rogan wrote. As you can see it right there. Go and watch it on X, which I'm most likely going to go and check out. See what else we have here. Trump's vice presidential pick, J.D. Vance, appeared on an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience released Thursday, less than a week after the former president marathon interview on the show. Rogan came away impressed with Trump after the interview, noting that the former president is authentic. He said, noting that the former president is authentic and funny. He also marveled that he could hold a focused interview for over 3 hours. He said he's got the, I'm sorry. Y'all know that was a shot at Joe Biden, right? And most likely Kamala Harris too. He's got this ability to just keep going. This is what's crazy. Like the podcast was 3 hours long, he said. This guy didn't pee before the podcast. He didn't pee after the podcast. He just left, the host said. Rogan had been in the talks to have Vice President Kamala Harris on, but plans were scrapped because the campaign demanded the interview only be an hour and that he traveled to meet her instead of recording at his podcasting studio in Austin, Texas. What a load of complete bull crap that is. I mean, she had the opportunity, folks. She had the opportunity to go on one of the to go on the biggest podcast in the land. Now, she went on a podcast called Call Her Daddy, which was one of the biggest podcasts out there with like a 90 percentile of women that are listening. And now you had the opportunity, since your campaign, you and Tim Walz, you guys claim, and you pushed and sanctioned your campaign to go out there and try to get the men. You have the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, the biggest podcast out there, who has an overwhelmingly majority of men listeners. And what do? You don't want to come to his show. No, ladies and gentlemen, she did not want to come to his show. You ask him to come to you. Then you only want to be there for an hour. This, ladies and gentlemen, we've already seen enough interviews on how Kamala Harris does not answer questions. And I can tell you guys this right now. Sometimes there are things that when you go in interviews, there are things you want to stay away from. I'm going to keep it 100% with y'all. There's things I tell people that we're not going to talk about things too, because if you have residents like I do, and I mean by places where you live, people will dox you. People will send stuff there. People will have to have my neighbors in different states go and grab stuff off the, oh, this came to, and I didn't order any of these things. So there's certain things that you can't talk about. There's certain things you can't tell people where you've been, where you lived, or any of that, because people will have ways of trying to find ways to cancel you. They'll find ways to get you disbarred. They'll find ways to get you licenses and stuff canceled. They'll find ways to do all kinds of weird things. And I understand that. But in this case, if you are talking about someone who is running to be president of the United States and you already are vice president, you should have had, in my opinion, enough experience with people who teach you how to debate, people who give you talking points, people who give you things to say, and you should be able to look these things up yourself. I'm just saying, as an important position like that myself, y'all can say she had a little time to prepare. Bull crap. She had 3.5 years to prepare. You want me to tell you why? Because she should be at a point, in theory, trained well enough that should something had happened to President Joe Biden, she would be able to just step right in. No problem. Take the reins. Right? So this whole notion of she didn't have time to prepare, she wasn't able to do X, Y, and Z. Nah. Bull crap. Bull crap. The reason I'm saying it is this. You showing us how ready you are, Kamala Harris. There's no faking the dumbfoundness. There's no faking the mouth saying one thing, but the eyes are showing us a whole different realm. There's no faking that. There's no faking these beating around the bush, long word salad stories that has nothing to do with the question that was asked. Nothing at all. So you had a chance to go on Joe Rogan's show, where we know that Joe Rogan probably would have just slammed some questions like, yeah, but that's not what I'm asking you, Madam Vice President. With all due respect, that's not what I'm asking you. You're not answering the question. You have millions upon millions of Americans that are watching you right now, and that's not the answer. We saw other interviews that you've done, and you never seem to answer. Just give us a straight answer. Probably didn't want none of that. And we know, based off of other interviews that she done, he probably would have had, 5 questions, because she could have took all those questions that he was going to give her, and she'd have made all of them 15-minute answers, which means he only would have got like 4 questions out. That's my point on that. So anyway, folks, let me know what you guys all think about Joe Rogan endorsing Kamala Harris. Do you think this is going to have any major influence on how people are going to see things, vote, yada, yada, peanut butter? Whatever the case may be, you guys let me know what you think in the comments section. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, what you see in that cloud right there, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would do that. And the best thing that you guys can do is don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Get into your cell phone. If there's anybody that you know in your contact list that would benefit from watching this channel, please let them know about this channel. I will see you guys on the next one. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray every last one of you guys in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.